So number 14 is asking us to find the measure of arc LDM. LDM is right here, and it tells us that it's 191x plus 1. And if you remember, our formula here is arc plus arc divided by 2 equals this angle right there. So we're going to do 191x plus 1 plus 61x minus 1, divide that by 2, and set that equal to our 126. So to get rid of the 2 in the denominator, we're going to multiply both sides by 2. We're going to combine our like terms. So when we combine 191 and 61, we get 252x. And then we multiply 2 times 126, we get 252. So x is only equal to 1 here. So then we're going to plug that back up in there for that arc. So we're going to do 191 times 1 plus 1, which is 192. And that's our answer. So on this next one, we're going to do outside arc minus inside arc divided by 2 equals that angle up there. So we're going to do 25x plus 5 minus 67 divided by 2. That's going to equal our 7x plus 2. So I'm going to combine my positive 5 and my 67. That's going to give me 25x minus 62, and I'm going to multiply 2 times 7x plus 2. So that's going to be 2 times 7x, that's 14x. 2 times 2, that's 4. I'm going to subtract the 14 from the 25, that gives me 11x. I'm going to add 62 to 4, so that's going to give me 66. So my x is equal to 6. Then it's asking me for this angle up here, and so I got to put that back in there. So 7 times 6 is 42. Plus 2 is 44. That's my angle. So down here for number 16, it's telling us the measure of CDF. So that's CFD out here is 4 plus 92x. And then it tells me this angle here. So there's 2 ways I could do this. I could multiply 2 times that 13x plus 1. 2 times 13x plus 1, and then add that to my 4 plus 92x. And when I do that, all of that's got to equal 360. So, and I did 2 times this because we have the angle, we need the arc. So that would be 26x plus 2 plus 4 plus 92x. Equals 360. So 26 and 92 is 118 x. We add the 4 to the 2, that's 6, and that's equal to 360 still. So we're going to subtract the 6 from both sides, so 118x equals 354. Divide 118 into 354, so x equals 3. Then we got to plug that back in to get CFD. So we're going to do this up here, 4 plus 92 times 3, and that would be 280 degrees. That's our answer. Okay, now over here for this next one, it says find the measure of angle G, F, and H. Okay, so I'm going to erase this right here so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to find angle G first. There's the angle. It is subtended by an arc that's 180 degrees because HF is a diameter. So the measure of angle G is equal to 180 divided by 2, which equals 90. Then I also notice that this angle here, HFG, is subtended by this 98 degrees. So that means the measure of angle F is equal to 98 divided by 2, and that's 49 degrees. Now there's a couple ways I could do this one down here, this FG. I could subtract 98 from 180, and if I was to do that, I would get 82 down here. And then when I'm looking for this one again, I could take half of 82, so the measure of angle H is equal to 82 divided by 2, which is 41 degrees. Now the other way I could do that is I could add the two together, the 90 and the 49, and subtract them from 180 to get the 41, or just subtract 49 from 90. So if any question on this review is going to mess y'all up, it's going to be number 18. So let's just talk about what we see, because it's asking us for this angle right here. Okay, so if we're needing an angle, then we need to do outside arc minus inside arc. So let's talk about where our outside arc is. So notice here that our outside arc is out here, and our inside arc is right here. We have our inside arc. Those are two tangents. So what you need to notice first that YA and YB are tangents, okay? So if you don't notice that, it's going to cause you difficulty with the rest, because the 30 and the 40 degree arcs, they don't do us any, 30 and 50 degree arcs, they don't do us any good at all in this problem. So what we need to do first of it is find the green. So to find the green arc, we're going to do 360 minus the 40. So that's going to be 320. And now we have this arc out here. And remember, what we're going to do is we're going to do outside arc minus inside arc divided by 2. That's going to give us that angle that we're looking for at Y. So to find that, we're going to do 320 minus 40. And that is 280. And then we're just going to divide that 280 by 2. And that's 140 degrees. So once again, that problem looks really difficult, but it's really not. It's outside arc minus inside arc divided by 2, because we have two tangents at YA and YB. All right, so this one, number 19, says Emmanuel's dog was on a 12-foot chain and constantly ran an angle of 275 degrees, thus ruining the sector area of the grass. That's what we're going to be looking for right there, sector area. So what square footage of grass would be needed to replace the ruined grass? So we've got our radius here. That's how long the chain was. And then we've got our angle. So we're going to use pi r squared theta over 360 to find what it is. This time we are going to multiply by pi, so we're going to do pi times 12 squared. Our theta here is our angle, 275. And we're going to divide all that by 360. Now this time we are going to multiply by our pi, so what we would have gotten is 110 pi. So when we multiply that, we get approximately 346 feet squared. All right, number 20. This is a repeat from our last test. So on this one it says secant segments JKL and JMN are drawn to circle O from an external point J. It says if JK is 8 and LK is 4 and JM is 6, what is the length of JN? So let's go ahead and draw this. So there's my circle, and I'm going to draw two secants because that's what it says they are. It says we have JKL and JMM drawn to circle J from an external point J. So I got JK L there, and then I've got J, M, N down here. Now we're just going to label what we have. We have JK, which is 8. We have LK, which is 4. Then we have JM, which is 6. And we don't know NM, nor do we know the whole length, which is JN. So we're going to do outside, which is KJ, times the whole, which would be KJ, plus KL. And we're going to set that equal to JM. And then our whole is JM plus MN. Okay, so let's just do that. 8 times 8 plus 4 is equal to 6 times 6 plus NM. Right? Okay, so this is going to be 8 times 12. That equals 6 times 6, which is 36, plus 6 NM, or MN, doesn't matter. This is going to be 96 equals 36 plus 6 NM. That's going to be 60 when I subtract 36 from both sides. Is equal to 6 NN. So that means NM equals 10. So I'm going to put it over here, 10. Now we should be able to see, because it's asking us for the length of JN. J is the whole thing, so I just have to add 10 plus 6. So JN is 16. All right, so the last one over here, it says, and I'm going to erase some of this so I can see. In circle O, diameter AB is perpendicular to chord CD. So we know that there's a right angle here, first of all. That means that these two sections right here have to be congruent. It says AE, so that's from here to here, is 16. And then EB is 4. Well, that tells me that the whole thing is 20. And if the diameter is 20, then that means that the radius, so if the diameter is 20, then my radius is half of that, so that would be 10. So that means from here to here is 10, which means that from there to there is 10. So I can say 10 there. Now, if the whole thing is 10, but this part down here is 4, do y'all see this part right here is 4? So to find from O to E, OE is going to be 10 minus 4, which is 6. So I can put 6 right there. Then I got to find this part down here at the bottom. I got to find this, and we know that that is also congruent with this over here because I already put tick marks on it. So I'm going to use Pythagorean Theorem, and I'm going to say that OD squared is equal to OE squared plus ED squared. So that means I'm going to say 10 squared is equal to 6 squared plus ED squared. So this 6 squared, so this is 100. It's 36 plus ED squared. So that would be 64. When I subtract the 36, that's ED squared. I'm going to take the square root of both sides. So ED would be equal to the square root of 64, which is 8. So that means that this measure right here is 8, which means this measure right here is 8, and 8 plus 8 is what? 16. And these last two questions here, 20 and 21, are repeat questions from the last test. So you guys need to make sure you know how to do those because they're showing up again, just to make sure that you guys get it right. Because remember, we have an interim next week. So